Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Wednesday. Hope you had a good day today.
Nice day for a drive. Tough assignment for Harvey this afternoon.
Yes, this is over the top. Harvey takes out the new Rolls-Royce SUV, the Cullinan. That's coming up, so stay tuned for that. Here's what's making news on this Wednesday. No sign of the missing Barron County teenager after nearly 2,000 people helped search for clues. We'll have a live update from the sheriff.
Pipe bombs are sent to Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Eric Holder, CNN, and others. We'll tell you what the FBI is saying.
And there's somebody in court in our area who might be watching right now, or somebody in our area might be watching right now that won a big prize in last night's lottery. The big jackpot, though, winner was in South Carolina.
One winning ticket for the Mega
amazing.
Millions last night. But first at 4, we're getting an update on the search for 13-year-old Jamie Kloss.
Up to 2,000 volunteers canvassed the area around Barron,
between
Wisconsin yesterday.
12:30
Here's the Barron County
1:30
Sheriff.
a.m. We are asking you to call into our tip line so you can help in this investigation. I want to thank the over 2,000 people that came out yesterday to help with the search. This is truly an uplifting experience for myself and the rest of the law enforcement agents working this case. As of today, no items of evidentiary value were recovered during our search, but our evidence teams continue to look over those items. Also at this time, we're reviewing the area that was being searched, and our investigative team, lead team, is looking to see if more areas need to be searched. At this time, we will not be searching any more areas. Next, I want to introduce Jennifer Smith, aunt of Jamie, for a short statement.
We would like to thank the community for their continued love and support of our family during this extremely difficult time. It was amazing to see the outpouring of love at the vigil the other night for our sweet Jamie. Jamie, not a moment goes by when we aren't thinking of you and praying for you. Your family and friends miss you so much. Your sparkling eyes, your bright smile, your soft little giggles. Your dog Molly is waiting for you. She's sleeping in one of your sweatshirts and will only eat chicken. Grandpa needs new artwork on his fridge. Aunt Susie wants to go jogging in the park with you, and I want that girls' shopping date we planned. I even brought your favorite iced coffee with me today. To whoever may know where Jamie is, please contact the Barron County Sheriff Department. Jamie, we need you here with us to fill that hole we have in our hearts. We all love you to the moon and back, and we will never stop looking for you.
Thank you, Jennifer and family, for your words to help bring Jamie home. Next, I'd like to introduce Special Agent in Charge Justin Tolomeo for a statement.
Thank you, Sheriff, and thank you to the Kloss family relatives for those very moving words. Again, I am Justin Tolomeo, the Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Milwaukee Division. The FBI wasn't a large part of the Barron County community prior to Jamie's disappearance, but we truly feel like we are now. Like everyone here, we want to bring Jamie home. We stand together with our state and local law enforcement partners working day and night to find Jamie. To encourage anyone who may have details about Jamie's disappearance to come forward, we are now offering a reward of $25,000 for information that directly relates to her location. So please, if you have information, we want to hear from you. Call the tip line, 1-855-744-3879. I'd like to end by thanking everyone in Barron County and across the nation for your support for law enforcement and helping us find Jamie.
Thank you, Special Agent in Charge Tolomeo. I can't thank the FBI, DCI, all of our local partners for the efforts put forth to find Jamie. We continue to have 200 law enforcement officers on the ground every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to solve this crime. This crime doesn't get solved without the partnerships of both law enforcement and this community. So we ask you to continue to call that tip line with any tip, any change in behavior, anything out of the ordinary to help us bring Jamie home. That tip line again is 1-855-744-3879. I'll be able to take a couple short questions.
Sheriff, do you believe yesterday the registration process of those volunteers, was that standard operating procedure, or is there a belief that the killer could be among the community here?
That is a standard operating procedure for record keeping, and it becomes part of the investigation.
Sheriff,
Yes.
are you any?
We've had about 2,000 that were here yesterday searching, and a lot of searching has been just here in the area that we have seen. I guess if you mentioned how much of the search have even gone to other states, and since we're this far north, has it gone to other agencies outside the United States?
No, the only thing outside of Barron County has been tips that we follow up on from local FBI agents, local DCI agents, and local law enforcement assists us across the nation.
Sheriff, are you any closer to identifying details of a person or a suspect of interest?
At this time, we are not, but as I said, there's 200 people in this building behind me combing over evidence still, looking at things that were picked up yesterday, looking at video, continuing to review that 911 call, and I know we keep going back to that, but any tip can bring Jamie home at any one time, and I can't stress that enough.
Sheriff,
Yes.
following up on that other question, there are billboards in other states. Do you have any reason to believe that she has been taken out of this area?
We don't know that answer. That's why we made this a nationwide search. And we can't thank the billboard companies enough. The gas stations have her picture up, the trucking companies. We've done radio shows, Sirius radio, trucking shows. Anybody out there with any information should call our tip line.
Sheriff, any specific evidence that there was obviously a very emotional plea there directed to Jamie. You have continued to say she's alive, she's out there. Is there any just shred of evidence that has proven that point in the last 10 days?
I won't comment on that, but we believe Jamie's out there. Jamie's endangered, and we need to bring a 13-year-old girl home.
Sheriff, can I talk to the FBI guy, please?
An update. This is an update from Barron County, the sheriff there, on the disappearance of 13-year-old Jamie Kloss. The news today, a $25,000 reward now being offered by the FBI.
10 days she's been missing now. No new leads. Unfortunately, the search yesterday, more than 2,000 people showed up to help search. Did not produce any leads, unfortunately, and the sheriff said no more searches are planned for the area. Very emotional time for the community and obviously for the Kloss family.
Members speaking out now, too, and we'll have updates, of course, as needed. But first, let's take a look outside. Not a bad day. Getting the beans up, apparently. Harvest in full swing as we have a string of dry weather finally. But goodbye, sunshine. Hello, Dana Fulton.
Hi. Yeah, so we have had a string of dry weather. That's been the good news. We're not talking about a bunch of rain moving on in, but we are certainly going to talk about a little bit of cloud coverage coming in starting this evening. Right now, though, crystal clear. Our Doppler track looks very nice throughout the Midwest again. No complaints as far as any showers for us this evening or overnight. We're sitting close to 52 right now in Madison, about 55 in Janesville. So compared to this time yesterday, we are sitting in basically the exact same spot today, almost a repeat performance of the forecast that we had for Tuesday. A little bit of a breeze coming from the south-southeast. It'll stay in the single digits overnight. Not expecting a windy night for us at all. As we head into tomorrow, though, notice a little bit of a shift in our sky conditions. The clouds are going to build in. Temperatures, though, won't really warm up or cool down all too much. It'll stay pretty similar as we head towards tomorrow. This weekend, that's when we'll have our next opportunity for a little bit of rain coming in. But we'll take a closer look at that future track in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, we'll check back. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana. Federal, state, and local authorities are trying to figure out who mailed bombs to the homes and offices of several public figures.
This is a photo of the bomb that someone sent to former CIA director and CNN contributor John Brennan at CNN's New York studio. Police say the package also included an envelope containing white powder.
It appears that an individual or individuals sent out multiple similar packages.
Another bomb addressed to former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's Chappaqua, New York home was discovered at a postal facility overnight.
We are fine, thanks to the men and women of the Secret Service who intercepted the package addressed to us long before it made its way to our home.
Another was caught before it could reach former President Barack Obama's Washington, D.C. home. The Florida office of former DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz also received a device after her return address was listed on an envelope that could not be delivered. The threat at New York City's Columbus Circle emptied out the Time Warner Center, which includes a subway station, shops, hundreds of condominiums, and CNN's New York operation.
We are outside safely. All of our CNN colleagues that we know of are outside.
CNN anchors reported the story from the street. Others quickly evacuated the building.
Everybody was taking their time, coming down the elevators, coming down the escalators, no sense of panic.
The White House is condemning the incidents, saying those responsible will be brought to justice.
That acts or threats of political violence of any kind have no place in the United States of America.
The FBI is testing the devices, which consisted of pipes, wires, and black powder. In New York, Tom Hansen for WISC News 3.
The first suspicious package was sent to a home belonging to Democratic donor George Soros 2 days ago. A congressional source confirms a suspicious package addressed to Maxine Waters was intercepted at a House mail facility in Washington, D.C. President Trump is on his way to Wisconsin.
He's holding a campaign stop in Mosinee to campaign for Republican candidates. Political reporter Jessica Harp is at an airport hangar there awaiting the president's arrival. Hi, Jess.
Well, hi there. Yeah, we're expecting the president's leaving the Washington, D.C. area sometime in the next half hour or so. These folks that you see that are just filing into the airplane hangar here at the Central Wisconsin Airport, some of them have been waiting for quite some time outside as they wait to get into this facility to see the president. Really, I mean, it's quite a scene of the just lines of people in the Make America Great Again hats that are in the field outside of the Central Wisconsin Airport. We're sort of between Stevens Point and Wausau here outside Mosinee. Of course, you may know this is an area of the state that has been Trump country in the past, him winning this area by double digits in 2016, an area where they really need to turn out heavy support again for Wisconsin candidates in the midterm elections. We know that this is really what this is about today, trying to increase GOP turnout for all of the Republican candidates on the ticket, including Governor Scott Walker and State Senator Leah Vukmir. We're also learning a little bit more about where that race stands. A new Ipsos Reuters poll out today shows that it's a neck-and-neck race for State Superintendent Tony Evers and Governor Scott Walker. Just a 3-point race there. This poll is showing Evers with the lead. The Baldwin-Vukmir race is quite a bit bigger spread. It shows a 54-39 lead for Tammy Baldwin. We did see Leah Vukmir here a little bit earlier in line. She's going to speak to this crowd today. It's really important for her to try to gain some ground. She's been running very closely to President Trump and to his policies all along, really trying to sort of align herself with him and the voters that have supported him and supported him in 2016. We are expecting we may also hear more from the president about these explosions today. Obviously, you heard a little bit earlier there, he was denouncing these things, but sometimes at his rallies, the rhetoric has changed into more heavy attacks against Democrats and against the media in some cases. So we're really looking to see what's going to happen there. You can see his plane getting ready to leave Washington, D.C. to come here to this airport. We expect we will see Air Force One here on the tarmac in the Mosinee area today. And as we said, likely thousands of people turning out. I'm not even sure that many of them are going to fit inside of this airplane hangar, which isn't a terribly large space here. But we are expecting to hear from them in about the next couple of hours, and we will, of course, have continuing coverage here on News 3 and on channel3000.com.
We will continue to follow you. Jessica Arp reporting live from Mosinee. Jess, thanks.
The district attorney for Iowa County was in familiar surroundings this afternoon, but in very unfamiliar circumstances. Larry Nelson was in court facing a judge on charges for drunken driving. He was arrested after the sheriff's office received an OnStar emergency alert on Sunday morning. Nelson pled guilty to a first offense OWI charge. The judge ordered him to pay a $1,000 fine and to have an ignition interlock device for 1 year.
Someone in South Carolina is a Mega Millions winner. There was one winning ticket in last night's $1.5 billion drawing. The winning ticket was sold at a KC Mart in Simpsonville, which is in the central part of the state. 35 tickets worth $1 million were each sold across the country, including one at the Quick Trip in Mount Horeb. No word yet on who is a new millionaire. The $1 million winning ticket is the second highest prize available in the game, with the winner having to match all 5 white balls but missing the mega ball number.
Now, your folks live in South Carolina. Have you heard anything?
Yeah, no, that's in the central part of the state. They're on the coast. But whoever won in South Carolina, we may never know because you're allowed to remain anonymous.
They don't have to come forward.
In Wisconsin, I believe you have to go public, but in South Carolina, you don't.
I don't think we're going to ever know.
We might not, no.
Well, there's more to come at 4. The midterm elections are just 13 days away, and we want to know where the U.S. Senate candidates stand on various issues.
When we come back today, it's the Democrats' turn. We'll sit down for a conversation with Senator Tammy Baldwin. That's when Live at 4 continues.
You guys will be
A large number of female artists and bands fronted by women will headline this year's edition of Freak Fest, which takes over State Street Saturday night here in Madison.
Indie pop band Mr. Wives will headline the Capitol stage at the top of State Street. Tickets are required. They're $15 at the gate or $10 in advance. That's one of just 3 music stages for the 7 o'clock event, which as always will have a large police presence to make sure that everything stays safe for everyone.
We plan for a number of different contingencies, and we have an extremely robust personnel footprint for the event in order to deal with the various issues that could impact safety and making the event a positive one.
Significant road closures begin at 5 o'clock, and that includes Johnson, Dayton, and Lake Streets, where they intersect with State Street and Gorham, well, they'll stay open until 6. At 7 o'clock, as we said, you will need a ticket to be on State Street Saturday night.
A brutal day on Wall Street, erasing year-to-date gains. The Dow Industrials plunged 608 points, closing at 24,583. The NASDAQ Composite Index lost a whopping 329 points, and the S&P 500 was off 84 and is now in correction territory. Well, with the election less than 2 weeks away, we are going to sit down with the two candidates running for U.S. Senate.
Republican Leah Vukmir is challenging incumbent Democrat Tammy Baldwin. Our Rose Schmidt went one-on-one with each of the candidates, covering a variety of issues that have dominated the campaign.
And we begin today with Tammy Baldwin.
If the Affordable Care Act were to be repealed, how would you guarantee that people in Wisconsin would have coverage for pre-existing conditions?
First of all, I would do everything that I possibly could to make sure that people with pre-existing conditions had real options, not sham options, but real options. And before the Affordable Care Act was put in place, we had so many bankruptcies that had health care at its roots. I mean, I still remember a letter from Susan from Beloit, who talked about her husband's cancer diagnosis. They had insurance, but they were underinsured. They looked at the provision. It covered one bout of their chemotherapy, his chemotherapy. The next round of chemotherapy maxed out their credit cards. The third round, they got a home equity loan. Her husband died, and the whole family went bankrupt. That's the battle days, and that's what my opponent support's returning to. We have got to move forward, and that means fixing the Affordable Care Act, not tossing it out the window.
Let's switch gears to tariffs. What would you do to mitigate the effects from tariffs on Wisconsin farmers?
Last year, we lost over 500 dairy farms, mostly small farms and medium-sized farms. Dairy farmers were already facing tough times, an oversupply and a really low price for milk. That combination is very difficult. But the challenges kept piling on. Our dairy farmers need effective markets, export markets, and Trump's tariffs on Mexico and Canada and the European Union have led to retaliatory tariffs on cheese. So I've worked to urge the administration to end the tariffs against Mexico, the European Union, and Canada. But I also have worked very hard with the members of the Agriculture Committee in the Senate as we put together a new 5-year farm bill. We've seen way too many farmer suicides in the light of the stress that they've been facing and carrying for years now. And so our measure, Farmers First, is in the Farm Bill and would provide folks who regularly interact with our dairy farmers training so that they can look for signs of stress and provide resources.
Should undocumented immigrants who are already here be allowed to stay and eventually apply for citizenship?
You know, I think what's really clear right now, and the way to bring what's become way too politicized together as a bipartisan solution, is to look at comprehensive immigration reform. And so the answer to your question is going to be yes. However, the way that we have brought people who have different priorities in the immigration debate together is by including a comprehensive package that looks at border security and strengthens it, that looks at a pathway to citizenship for Dreamers and others in the United States without documentation, and also looks at our visa programs. We have right now an agricultural visa program that focuses on planting season and harvest season. But if you've been on a dairy farm, you know that dairy cows need milking every day, 365 days a year. So the agricultural visa program doesn't work for dairy. We need to fix all of that together. Many people, including my opponent, making this a political issue, not a solution-driven issue.
If the Supreme Court were to overturn Roe v. Wade, what would you do?
What would happen immediately if the Supreme Court were to overturn Roe versus Wade is that women's ability to control their health care, it would be governed at the state level. As a U.S. Senator, I would, first of all, urge the state legislature, since this would be governed at the state level, to do the right thing, to repeal their criminal laws, and to recognize the right to choose and the right to privacy at the state level. At the federal level, I would do everything that I could to make sure that women can control their own bodies, their own decision about when or whether they'll have children, to essentially try statutorily to do what Roe versus Wade decided, that the Constitution promised.
And tomorrow we'll hear from Baldwin's opponent, Leah Vukmir, on many of these same issues.
There's more to come on Live at 4. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Take a look at this. A pair of suspects who thought they could escape from a Washington courtroom weren't counting on one thing. Here comes the judge. After a hearing, Judge R.W. Buzzard ordered 2 inmates back to jail, but they had other plans. Watch the right side of your screen. The 2 bolt for the door. Judge Buzzard quickly ditches his robe and takes off after the inmates. Cameras caught the pair scurrying through the courthouse. Just as one of the handcuffed men makes it out of an exit, Buzzard catches the other. Both men were eventually taken back into custody. Buzzard is back on the bench.
And a hero.
And a hero.
The name. It's Wednesday, October 24th. It is United Nations Day. It was founded on this date in 1945.
Today is also National Crazy Day, a day to get a little unhinged.
A little wild while you're having a bologna sandwich. It's National Bologna Day. Of course, the favorite sandwich for lunch could be made out of chicken, turkey, beef, pork, venison, and even some soy protein.
You have to have
hodgepodge.
white bread.
You do have to?
It's a
But
law.
do you like mustard or mayonnaise? What's your preference?
I like mustard.
Yeah, how about you, Dana?
Mayo.
Yeah, me too.
Mayo.
Me
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
It's good fried too.
We're
isn't it?
doing Oscar Mayer proud here. You're gonna
Okay.
make us a sandwich?
Turkey bologna.
My bologna has a first name.
It's OSCAR. I got you. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So we're losing our sunshine, huh?
We are. Unfortunately, we're going to talk about some cloud coverage drifting on in, so get ready for that. Not a whole lot of rain potential, though, until we get into late tomorrow and potentially on Friday as well. So say bye-bye to the sunshine.
Aww.
We'll look at the forecast right after the break. Quite the seasonal day for us with sunshine. However, as we head overnight, our cloud coverage is going to increase. Tomorrow, we're looking pretty overcast with a slight rain chance late in the day for tomorrow and heading into Friday. Now, Friday heading into Saturday, that's when we may start to see some snowflakes moving in. For much of Wisconsin, we've had a nice sunny day. You can see off to the west, though, we're starting to see some cloud coverage move on in. Our Doppler track, though, still looks pretty calm for us throughout much of the Midwest. No precip concerns for tonight. It's just not going to be as lovely, crystal clear for us overnight heading into Thursday. Currently sitting close to 52 in Madison. It's just a little cool outside, but not too bad. At about 54 Mineral Point, 55 in Janesville right now, with the wind coming from the south-southwest in the single digits. Not looking at a gusty evening at all. Should be fairly pleasant outside overnight. Heading into tomorrow morning, our high pressure is slowly shifting east. We've had a mild trend, but now our next weather maker's off to the west, and that cloud coverage pushing in front of it. Our next rain chance again slowly coming into the mix by late Friday. Mostly clear for the next few hours, and then clouds heading into tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be in the mid to low 30s for overnight lows. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy by the afternoon, but notice no rain coming in for the afternoon. Temps will be in the upper 40s for afternoon highs, low 50s for some areas. Heading into Friday, we may see a few isolated showers throughout the day, just a slight rain chance for us on Friday. Otherwise, looking at clouds. Bouncing down towards the Gulf, Hurricane Willa, and now just sliding through Mexico and heading up towards Texas. Expect expecting to bring much rain to that area, to the edge of Texas. So overall sunshine for us, though, throughout Madison. Really going to enjoy that for the next few hours. Sunset's just after 6 o'clock, so we have a little more time before we have to start talking about an overcast sky. 53 the high for today. Our average temps in the mid-50s, though, and starting off this morning, certainly needed the thick jacket on. About 27 degrees. It was a little crisp outside this morning. Overnight lows again, mid to low 30s for us. Fairly clear for the next few hours, and then mostly cloudy later on. Mostly cloudy tomorrow and cool, as temps will be in the low 50s for afternoon highs, but a repeat for performance for today into tomorrow and Friday and Saturday as far as our temperatures go. Cloud coverage, though, that's certainly going to be increasing. Slight chance for showers late Thursday and throughout the day on Friday. We have that slight chance for some showers. And then looking ahead to the weekend, we're going to get a little bit of a break in the rain. That's the good news for Saturday. Heading into Sunday, though, that's when we might have that snowflake mix popping up for us late Saturday and early Sunday morning. Right now, Halloween is looking a little rainy, unfortunately, but again, hoping to get a bit of a break in the showers there for Friday or for Halloween evening. That'll be the plan.
Week away.
Today. Yeah.
Right. Still working on the timing there. Now we're just kind of enjoying the fact that we have a break on Saturday. It'll be good.
All right. Thanks, Dana. Coming up, step into the shoes of an older person.
That is the message given to physical therapy students. We'll have that story when Live at 4 continues.
Here's a live look at downtown Madison on a sunny Wednesday afternoon. Looking nice. With baby boomers getting older, the number of Americans over 65 is increasing each year.
Now, one university is giving physical therapy students the experience of what aging feels like. Medical correspondent Dr. Maria Simbra has more from Pittsburgh.
Font 48.
These physical therapy students are learning how it feels to be decades older in the Aging Simulation Lab at Chatham University in Pittsburgh. Wraps, bandages, and braces are used to mimic stiff joints, limit motion, and create balance problems.
It's a color change, simulating vision loss.
Goggles and colored lenses show students what it's like to have trouble seeing.
I can't see anything. It's pretty bad.
These physical therapists in training are experiencing how age-related changes affect movement.
Most of them really like it because it's active learning. They say they will remember it much better.
A classmate and I were trying to play catch with a ball, and just the depth perception was completely off.
The lab simulates everyday tasks the elderly can find challenging, like reading cooking instructions.
I can't read the number. There's no way.
And opening medicines with hands impaired by gloves.
Some balance stuff there.
Dr. Michelle Chris says showing students how the elderly navigate the world fosters more understanding caregivers.
The goal is really more empathy, having a little bit more understanding.
Step at a time.
PT student Jared Crater says having limited mobility and vision up and down these stairs has made him see things in a new way.
It gave me a perspective on what my patients will be going through and how I can change my treatment to help give them a better opportunity to live a better life and to live a more active life.
Simulated lessons that will help these students make a difference when it comes to caring for actual patients. Dr. Maria Simbra, CBS News, Pittsburgh.
I can tell you what it feels like to be
I was
old.
just going to say, the real thing is a little different, but that's very interesting.
Yeah, students also take hearing tests to experience what hearing loss in old age sounds like.
There's more to come at 4. When we come back, we're hitting the road with Harvey Briggs.
And we are going in style. Get this, Harvey checks out the new Rolls-Royce SUV, the Cullinan. Please pass the Grey Poupon. That's when Live at 4 continues.
So right now, roadways are looking pretty okay for us throughout most of the area. A little closer look at the Beltline, where we're seeing, as usual, the greatest slowdown. Westbound about 21 miles per hour, eastbound at 23. That accident on the westbound side near Todd Drive now completely cleared off. Bouncing a little further over the Beltline, starting to clear out once we get a little closer to 39. Not seeing any backups or delays, and again, no accidents. And if we go all the way down to Janesville, y'all are looking pretty good as well. A lot of green there. Drive times should be fairly smooth. A little slower from Verona to the Beltline. Should be closer to about 9 minutes for us, but 7 from Oregon to the Beltline, and then Springfield to University Avenue only 4 minutes. So it should be a smooth drive wherever you may be.
All right, looks good. Thank you, Dana. Well, check out this perfectly rectangular iceberg. It's real. NASA scientists spotted it last week while doing a flyover in Antarctica. Experts say it's actually quite common to see straight lines and sharp angles on enormous sheets of ice. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's really spectacular. Audacious, awesome, luxuriously practical, and beautifully crafted. We're not talking about behind the wheels Harvey Briggs, but we might as well be.
No, instead we are talking about the all-new Rolls-Royce Cullinan, the company's first attempt at a luxury off-roader. We couldn't wait to experience all this luxury firsthand. Then the phone rang. Oh, it's Harvey. Hi, Harvey.
Mark, it's Harvey. You'll never guess where I am.
The front parking lot?
No, not even close. I'm in Jackson, Wyoming, where it is now snowing, driving the all-new Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
Named after the largest and most flawless diamond ever found, the Cullinan is the first SUV from the famed automaker. It's the most expensive and most lavishly appointed off-road capable vehicle ever built.
It is a incredible piece of engineering, really amazing. And it should be, because this car costs more than most houses do in Madison. This car, the base price is $325,000. The one I'm riding in right now, I think costs somewhere in the mid $400,000 range. And you can outfit these things to be more than $500,000, and people often do.
What people, Harvey? Nobody I know.
As you would imagine, this is a vehicle for the 1% of the 1%, and it's someone who doesn't mind making a statement about themselves and what they've achieved.
And what a statement it is. A turbocharged V12 makes this thing go with 563 horsepower. It weighs 3 tons, but Harvey says you'd never know it. Air suspension allows you to raise or lower this big Rolls to truly go off-roading, as improbable as that sounds. You can even drive this $500,000 vehicle through 21 inches of water.
You really get this incredible balance of capability and luxury. And the luxury on this is exquisite. The woodwork on it, the way it's book matched from side to side, so the wood mirrors it as it goes around the car. The hand-stitched leather and the crazy bespoke colors you can get these things in. You can get your champagne chiller in the back. It comes with whiskey decanters and glasses in that configuration. I guess the people who drive Rolls or ride in the back of their Rolls Royces occasionally like to have a little nip to take the edge off, especially after you've been out watching the polo match.
And this beast is whisper quiet thanks to 300 pounds of sound insulation, double thick insulated glass, and tires especially engineered with foam insulation to make them more quiet. Why, you don't even hear the transmission.
This has Rolls-Royce's 8-speed satellite-aided transmission, so it actually uses the GPS and the satellite to read the road ahead, and it helps choose the right gear before you get there, so you never, ever feel the transmission shifting. It's so smooth. It's like silk.
Look up lap of luxury in the dictionary and you might see a picture of the Cullinan. And if you'd like one yourself, well, believe it or not, you have to get in line.
Each of these cars is custom ordered and handcrafted. So if you want one, right now you have to get in line. There's about a 2-year waiting list for this car. It's not like they can crank them out like you can a Toyota Camry.
Tough assignment, Harvey.
Yeah, before you ask, I do actually have some great coupons.
I gotta go with our bologna sandwiches. So, is it intimidating to drive this thing?
Yes and no. I've actually driven quite a few Rolls Royces over the years, so I'm getting used to it. But yeah, the first time I got in a Rolls Royce and drove a $300,000 car, you think about everything that's around you.
It is so beautiful, and you actually took it off-roading.
Yeah, we went up. There's a mountain outside of Jackson Hole called Snow King Mountain, and we drove from the base of the mountain to the top on these winding mountain roads, lots of rocks and stones, 2,000 feet up to the top of the mountain. So it's a very capable SUV. It's also crazy luxurious. I mean, things like the carpeting in this car is a 1-inch thick lamb's wool. So, Susan, you get in this car, you're going to take your shoes off right away. That's the first thing you do.
And they're all custom made?
Yeah, they're all custom made, handmade. Sometimes, like in the United States, a dealer might order one for a customer that he knows will like it and get it and deliver it to him. Other times, most people, they walk in and they have to order it, and then you pick everything out, every color, every stitch.
Oh, it's fun to dream, isn't it?
Ridesanddrives.com for this and all the Harvey's writing. Back to reality.
Yeah, that's right. Give me the French's with my bologna sandwich.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time, and we'll be right back
right.
with the final check of your forecast.
Ram.
Enjoy the sunshine while you can.
Absolutely. So we still have about an hour, right, before the sun sets. Tomorrow, things are going to be a little cloudy. We'll stay mostly clear for the next few hours. Then clouds overnight, mostly cloudy throughout our Thursday. Temperature-wise, though, not going to change too much. Overnight lows will be in the low 30s, and then afternoon high temperatures tomorrow in the lower 50s for us. So pretty consistent there. It's just sky conditions changing up a little bit for us.
Thanks, Dana. We'll be right back.